Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel.
Here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone.
So in today's video, you guys, we are going to be talking about all things contour for beginners. I know contouring is one of those intimidating things. You want to learn how to do it, but you want to know how to do it right, because when contour goes bad, trust me, I know I have had plenty of contour mishaps. So I wanted to make this video today for those of you who are just starting to contour and you legit have no idea what to do. So if you don't know what contouring is, we think of makeup as an art, okay? We play with shadows and light to create dimension and to create illusions on the face. So with contouring, we're creating shadows. And this is how you get sculpted cheekbones, sculpted jawbones. You can make your nose look slimmer. You can make your forehead look bigger or smaller. You know, it's all a big optical illusion. And quite honestly, it's a way to make your face look like you lost 10 pounds without actually losing 10 pounds or having plastic surgery. So if you're new to contouring or if you want to perfect your contouring skills, then just keep watching. So when it comes to contouring, I play around with two different methods. I either will cream contour or I will use a powder to contour. Powder contour was a lot easier for me to learn because I had already been using bronzer for the longest time. So it was really easy to really fine tune my contouring skills using a powder the same way that I would use a bronzer, but in just a little bit more of a precise action. Cream contouring can be a little bit tricky if you're a beginner because cream contouring, you have to blend it out precisely or else you'll have this big stripe left on your face, and that's something you don't want. But once I got the hang of it, I love both methods. I go back and forth between the two. So since I've already done my makeup for the day, I've set my face and everything, I'm actually going to be using a powder to contour. Now, this is not a contour palette. This is actually an eyebrow palette. But this color right here, I feel is like the most perfect gray toned brown to contour with. So here's a tip. You typically don't want to use anything shimmery like a shimmery bronzer to contour with, because when the light is drawn to that area, it actually doesn't even cast a shadow, and that's the whole point to contouring. Is it's supposed to mimic shadows. It's supposed to cast shadows. You're playing with light to create dimension on your face. So when we contour, we use it to create shadows on our face. So you want to use something that's more gray toned, because if you think of contour, if you think of a shadow, you think of it as being more gray toned. It's more cool toned. Versus like anything that's like a bronzer, that's more warm toned, and anything that is shimmery, it actually draws attention to that area and it can actually make your contour look really muddy. So before I get started, I'm actually going to go ahead and bronze my face and then I will contour. I like to do this because I like to blend my contour into my bronzer to make it all look nice and seamless. Okay, now my face is all bronzed up and ready to go. Let's go ahead and get started with the contouring. So like I said, this is my brow palette, but the reason why I love this is because of this color right here. I actually love to use this color for contouring because it is that perfect kind of really cool gray shade of brown. Now I'm just gonna go into my brow palette and I'm gonna dab into this cool toned gray kind of color. And then what I'm gonna do, I have a nice angled brush, and I'm just gonna make a little mark right about here. I don't wanna drag it all the way down. I want it to be more precise, like right up in here. Now, to kind of gauge where your contour should be, you can do the kissy face, or fishy face, I should say. And you can kind of see where that hollow of your cheekbone is, or you can use your brush and kind of go from the top of your ear at an angle down with the kissy face, and it will show you where that hollow of your cheekbone is. So once I've made this mark, that's when I'm gonna go ahead and start blending. Now I'm just taking this brush and I'm blending it in upward circular motions. I'm not dragging it down. That is the most important tip that I have for you when it comes to contouring, because if you drag it down, you're not gonna get that shadow that you're hoping to create with the contour. And then what I like to do to kind of blend it out a little bit more, I take the brush that I applied my foundation with and I just kind of stipple right on top of that contour so it blends it in just a little bit more so it looks a little bit more soft and subtle. And then to warm up my face again with a little bit of that bronzer, just really helps to blend it all in together. And see, and now I have this really beautiful little cheekbone kind of popping through. So here's kind of like a little side-by-side comparison. This side is contoured and this side is not. So to contour my forehead, I'm actually gonna be doing kind of like a U shape, more down towards, you know, the front of my forehead rather than towards the hairline, because this creates the illusion that my forehead is actually shorter than what it is. If you have smaller foreheads, then you would definitely want to contour up more towards your hairline to make your forehead appear larger. Then again, I'm gonna blend it out. Then I'm gonna finish blending by adding in the bronzer. Now to give yourself a more sculpted jawbone, what I like to do is really just get right in this corner and then come right down along the jawline. And then this will create the illusion of a nice sculpted jawbone, especially gets rid of the double chin, if you know what I'm saying. Now for this, you want to blend this downwards in a downwards motion, because if you were to blend this upwards, it would kind of make you look like you got a 5 o'clock shadow going on, and that's something that you don't want. Now contouring the nose is something that I am constantly asked about. So my number one tip is to use a small brush. So you can see this brush is kind of more, it's fluffy, but it's very small and compact, so it's able to kind of sculpt out my nose. Now, a little goes a long way when you're contouring the nose, especially when you're using a dark, cool toned color. It can look muddy very, very quickly. So I always say less is more. So the way that you want to contour your nose, you kind of want to start from your brow and then just work your way down along the outside of your nose. Okay, so I have one side done. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. I need to look in my mirror for this. And notice how I'm using very, very light pressure because I don't want it to be too bold. Okay, now for the tip of my nose. All right. So now for blending this out, I'm not going to use the same brush that I used to apply it with. I'm going to use the brush that I used to apply my foundation. This is going to be the best way to blend it out so that it doesn't look muddy and it looks more natural. and that's it. And that's how you can start learning how to contour with powder, you guys. It's so super simple and easy, especially when you use the tips that I shared with you. You know, use the foundation brush, use the bronzer brush, and go back and forth to really blend it in. I feel like when you use powders, it's much easier to do it. And then once you get a really good grasp of things, once you get into a good contour routine and you really have it down pat, then branch into the creams and really kind of play with it to see which method you prefer. I honestly can't choose between the two. I love doing both methods, but when I want something that I really can get it to look more natural instead of super chiseled contour, I like to use the powders because, as you can see, the contour is there, but it's so subtle and it's so beautiful. It complements anyone. I really, really hope you enjoyed this video and these tips today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Tell me what you like to contour with. Do you like to use powders or do you like to use creams? What is your go-to contour product? Drop it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.